in Layn University. My name is Conrad Layn. Just got out the shower. Gonna share a secret on how you can wash your tax-free problems away, just like you took a cold shower. But anyways, let me get right into it. Did you know taking a shower might be a tax benefit and a tax deduction? Sounds crazy, right? Let me explain. I'm gonna go in the sauna. I'm gonna give it 10 minutes per these instructions right here on the sauna. 10 minutes. And less than 10 minutes, you're gonna learn a lot about how to build your money like the wealthy. Let's get right into it. So all about taking a shower. Crazy, right? You take a shower every day, right? The IRS says this. It has to be ordinary and necessary in the pursuit of income. So don't sewer litigate me. Don't say, hey, I take a shower, I want to write off $100,000. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just giving some type of example to share that some industries, you might be able to do this. If you're a high luxury, maybe a retail store, or maybe you're a 5-star hotel. If you, for example, have employees that need to take a shower before meeting a customer, maybe it's high net worth real estate, and heck, maybe you're a rental car owner like I am. Maybe you have Ferraris that you rent out. Who knows? The point is, it must be ordinary and necessary to your business. So not everyone can do this, but let me give you 3 that are more usual. If you own a rental car business in any capacity or fashion, I don't care if you're a doctor, if you're an attorney, if you own a bar down the street, if you use a car, doesn't matter if it's commercial or passenger style vehicle or motorcycle, and you use it in the ordinary and necessary pursuit of income as per the IRS code, you can typically write off as a business expense or tax deduction. So for example, first one, if you have a car, typically in any of these capacities, if you rent a car like I do, if you own a car and you pick up people, you do deliveries, whatever the case, if you're an Uber, Lyft driver, whatever the case is, you typically have to wash your car. Now, yes, you might file the rookie expenses like washing and maybe mileage. Okay, cool. But did you know if you do some comparables, like maybe go online, look at maybe at minimum 3 detailers, car detailers, average out their price, say one charges $100, one charges $150, one charges $125. You can pick the one in the middle and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna wash my own car, and every time I wash my car, that's $125 that you might be able to utilize in a tax benefit in some type of fashion or capacity. But run this by your CPA. Everyone's personal tax situation is different. And you might be watching this in Ukraine, you might be watching this in Africa, you might be watching this in Europe. A lot of people are going through different situations, different transgressions. We're all human beings, and I'm just trying to help. I don't know what your tax situation is. You might be in a place where you're going through some type of issue with the government. Maybe you're going through issues with the local people. Maybe you're in a fairly free country or continent. Who knows? But the point is, check your tax code in your municipal where you're domiciled, and figure out if you can utilize this. Typically in the United States and Canada, and again, I'm not a tax person, I'm not a CPA, and I'm not your CPA. What I want to state is that you want to do comparables. You can't just say, hey, IRS, I'm going to write off $5,000 because I washed my car 50 times and everything. So you owe me $5,000. No, it's not like that. You have to make it more of a paper trail, show proof that, okay, you're actually conducting yourself. You have actual invoices. You can purchase invoices, like little carbon pink invoices from Staples, for example. And every time you wash your car, you document it. You take a picture, you email it, keep it in the cloud file, so that if you get audited, you have proof. So the thing is this, you want to make sure to keep as much proof as possible. Show that you're actually operating a real business. So if you're a Lyft driver, an Uber driver, if you're renting your cars on Turo or HyreCar, Getaround, if you're independently like I am, if you're a dealership, if you're someone who owns a business and you're using your car in a capacity to deliver or run errands, etc. If you have to wash your car, for example, if you're a real estate agent, you have to do showings or take people around or meet people, your car needs to look nice, right? You have to represent yourself. So in that fashion, you want to make sure if you wash your own car, it might be worth it, even though it might be more time consuming. You might want to do that because you might be able to get a bigger tax advantage as opposed to just writing off if you pay for a car detail. Now you're spending money and requesting a tax deduction as opposed to keeping money in your pocket, utilizing your time to clean your own car with your own materials. Now you can actually write off typically your soap, your water that you're using, and then now you can write off your time. But remember, you want to find real companies that have real price points, real websites, print those out, and create a contract for yourself with yourself and everything. That's what you want to do. This is very basic, very summarized, and there's a lot more nuances to this, but that's just basically it all in a nutshell. That's number one, creating your own car detailer. Second, if you're a rental car owner like I am, you want to create your own storage company. Storage, meaning, you know how many times people, my Turo guests, HyreCar renters, people that rent my cars, even if people leave their phones, leave food, leave their pets in some crazy situations. What you can essentially do is create a storage company. And what this does, essentially, you want to go online, look at what it costs, how much it costs to store for maybe a few days or for a month. So you go online and you look at U-Haul, for example, or different storage companies in your area. And this might sound crazy, but it's true. And if you do this, you print out the prices so you have proof, and then you write a contract with yourself. You operate in such fashion, take pictures, keep all the contacts for people that lost their items that you're storing. And now if you have to send it back to them, if you have to pay for money for this, you make sure you get a tax benefit for that because you're spending money as an expense to send it back to their house, or if you deliver it to them, now you're using your own gas and your time, right? So these are concierge service you're offering, but make sure you buy your own yellow invoice paper from like Staples or somewhere where you can actually write it down, make your own receipts and invoices, and keep them and document it. That way you show every time you've delivered, maybe you have to use your own card to deliver it to someone, or maybe you have to pay for UPS postage or postal service postage to mail it to them, or you have to wait for them to come back and you have to hold it for them. You want to be able to charge for these fees. These are the fees that most people don't understand how to capitalize off of, because what happens essentially is when someone leaves something behind, you might be nice enough to want to send it back to them or let them send it to you, but you're not being paid for this. And typically Turo and most apps don't pay for this. So what you want to do essentially is you create this yourself. It's not even that you're necessarily charging the guest or charging the renter. You're just showing that you are operating as a storage facility, because for this person to want to come back and get the item they left in your car, the reservation's over, where you have to mail it to them and pay money to send the postage to them, or you have to wait for them to come to you. You're essentially holding their items as a storage facility, and you might want to be paid that way too. So what you can do essentially is start getting that as a tax deduction off of your actual taxes. But again, check this with your CPA. Rules change all the time. I'm not a CPA. I'm not your CPA. And I'm just sharing strategies that wealthy people have used that might help you. So very important to do this. And last but not least, what you want to start doing as well is start learning how to, when you get your car, figure out how to actually get it to a point where when you offer a delivery service, essentially just like Turo allows you to charge a delivery fee when you deliver your car to the guest and pick up the guest at their stipulated address. What you can do is, you want to run this by your CPA or tax person, is you can start doing comparables, like look up maybe 3 or more, minimum 3 companies that transport cars as a concierge service. And what you want to do is average these out, and that's typically the fee you could possibly charge. But run this by your tax person. There's many concierge services that deliver cars, and what you can start doing is, if you're going to deliver cars anyway, you can actually look up these companies, company X, company Y, company Z, maybe company A, and compare these example companies and average out the price they charge, and then use it as a tax deduction because you're offering the same type of service. But create another contract with yourself, and this is essentially what you want to do. And to make all this really work, run it by your CPA tax person. Don't just listen to me. But also, you might want to set up another maybe bank account where you're paying into this account for this service, etc. Something like that. So maybe set up a bank account, even if it's your own checking account, but specifically only used for this fashion. If you already have a business, great. Just pay to this for a service. That's about it. Like, subscribe, share, comment out.